Coming up on this edition of the Die Hard Den podcast, as always, we continue to tell you something good, positive news and notes from the Lions organization. And this episode is all about the draft. Will, Sean, and I break down the 2019 NFL draft for our Detroit Lions. And Will is definitely going to make you say, the same old Lions. All this and more coming up on this edition of the Die Hard Den podcast. Here comes the roar. What up, though? And welcome to the Die Hard Den podcast. It's your man, Kurt Steele, in the building one more time with my man, Seany J. Hit him up, Seany J.
What's happening, Lions fans? Ready to talk about that draft?
And my man, you know who he is, Will Spatore.
What up? I don't know how positive people are, but I don't know. We'll see. We're talking draft. I'm not
talking draft. Okay. All right. So first thing we always do at this time is time to
tell me something good.
All right. So my first something good is Kelly Stafford had to go back into the hospital and she had some pain, but now she's back home and she's actually with her kids now. And so that's a good thing. She's able to interact with her kids now. Big Matt's back in the building at Allen Park. So that's good for him. He's back at work. So people like Seany J ain't beating the door down, telling him to get back to work. He is back to work. Now I'm just giving you the business, Seany. Don't kill me. And congratulations to all the draft picks, all those guys, all your hard work that paid off. We may not have agreed where you got drafted, but congratulations on getting drafted. Because think about it, at the end of the day, that's the culmination of that what they've been working for the whole football life, working hard to achieve a goal of being in the NFL. So that's my something good. Seany J, what you got?
Hey guys, I've been high on this offensive lineman. I wanted the guard for the Lions ever since TJ Lang was had to retire. And my tell me something good is they got the guy I always targeted, wanted. Bo Benshawel, forgive me, I can't say the man's name. The big 6'6", 309-pound right guard from the University of Wisconsin. I'm shocked that he wasn't even drafted because this guy is a two-time All-American, two-time All-Big Ten. He was rated the number one run blocking guard in all of college football. Started 49 career games for Wisconsin. Before the beginning last season, I saw where he was supposed to be a first-round pick, but he went undrafted. Like I said, that's a total shock to me. And I'm glad the Lions were able to get him as an undrafted free agent. And he had 20 teams that were pursuing him other than Lions, but he chose us, and I'm happy. That's a coup. That's like a couple years ago when the Cowboys got La'el Collins, who was a first-round pick, but he had other problems. They was able to get him. That's like a free first-round pick. So yeah. I like Schwarzo. That's why I'm telling me something good. I think he should be penciling him right away as the right guard.
Wiz, what you got, my man?
I like that guy a lot, and I like Ryan Pope. But I guess Pope's the San Diego State guy we got too.
Yeah.
My positive news is for Eric Ebron. He should no longer have Lions fans like jumping on his back anymore. There's a new tight end that will be thrown into the spotlight, and I think the Ebron trolls are officially done.
Okay.
So, they'll never be done. You know that. They'll never see spring.
Yeah, just because the fact that
it's being the tall grass lurking, I'm just saying he totally has a get out of jail card right now. If he instigates the pride on Twitter, they're absolutely going to jump on him. But I don't think
they are
going to be actively trolling him anymore. They can't. Right. They got a new guy to focus on. We're going to talk about it.
All right. So now it's time to get into the draft. Now, we're not going to do our usual segment of offense and defense. We're just going to go straight into the draft. Now, with the first pick, number 8 overall, the Lions selected T.J. Hawkinson, the tight end out of Iowa. Now, I was with everyone else. I didn't want a tight end in the first round, but I started doing some research on TJ, and I tried to compare them to the other 2 guys that the Lions drafted in the first round at tight ends the last 10 years. And Brandon Pettigrew and Eric Ebron do not have this guy's pedigree as far as this guy is 6'5", 251, basically another run blocking lineman. He can run and catch and block. He was the consensus. He was the number 1 tight end coming out in the draft. The tight ends we had on our roster really sucked last year, and we took the best tight end in the draft that was available. It's going to be an interesting way with this pick, just because Lions fans didn't want a tight end in the first round because we were looking at him as a potential Ebron or Pettigrew, but he is not those guys. This guy was the best tight end in college. He was the best tight end in the Big Ten, and I think he's a different player than both of those guys all around. He's got good size, good catch radius. Like he's a mauler in the run game. So I just think that this pick really sets the tone as far as where the offense is going to be headed in the future. So that's just my take. I like the pick. And it took me a little while to grow on me as I did some research, and I climbed off the ledge and did some research and looked at it and was like, okay, this was definitely a position of need. We could have got one a little later, maybe, but why get one later if that's the guy you want? And that's the guy Bob Quinn and Pam Patricia wanted. So that's just my take on it. My man, Seany, what you got?
About as far as TJ, first I was just disappointed as most of Lion Nation was when I heard the pick. I was hoping they would get Ed Oliver, who was there right behind us at Buffalo. I was hoping they would take Montez Sweat, who we were mocked to get by a lot of experts. But he actually slid way down the first round. I was hoping to get Sweat, to be honest. When I heard TJ, I kind of groaned. I said, here we go again. We heard similar things when Ebron and Pettigrew came out of college about how they were great blockers and receiving tight ends, and they would change the game, change the Lions' offense. Both those guys show flash potential, not their full potential. TJ, I guess he had okay combine. He was kind of outshined the combine by his teammate, Noah Fant. He did win the awards. He took home all the hardware. They kept, people like you said, kept saying he's not an Ebron, he's not a Pettigrew. And for the kids that hope that that's true, I'm willing to give him a chance. I want him to succeed right away. I post this in our Lions group because I don't want to hear from people that same old Lions narrative. I wish the guy well. I hope he is better than Ebron Pettigrew ever were. He's on my team. He's a Lion now. So I am pulling for him to succeed. I don't want to see him fail. I do want him to succeed. Some Lion fans like to see you fail just so they can say, see, I told you so, and the same old Lions. I'm not one of those guys. I'm pulling TJ behind him. And I hope he's a better man than Ebron and Pettigrew was.
Wills, what you got, my man?
On TJ?
Yeah.
I'm not knocking him at all. I think he's a good player. I would have preferred if they could have traded back and gotten him, but beggars can't be choosers. He's the highest rated tight end. Let's hope he isn't Ebron for his own sake.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody is hoping he fails, but those people are for sure out there, sure.
Yeah,
I think he's going to snowball quickly if it does.
Yeah, definitely.
So hopefully it doesn't.
So one more. This is my closing argument, my closing statement on this pick. If you look at, this is where I see when I saw this pick, and I say that because we also signed Jesse James in free agency. I'm looking at more 21 personnel, 2 tight ends, one running back, and multiple formations we can throw out of. So if you got two wides, 2 tights, and a running back, it doesn't mean like our personnel won't dictate, because we were so predictable under Jim Bob, where you kind of knew what the play was by the personnel grouping. And with this,
Right.
with TJ, and it brings more of a balance, but also unpredictability with the personnel packages. You can put those guys on the field. You don't know if it's going to be a run or a pass. I can see a lot of play action coming up with these personnel groupings. So that's just kind of what I saw with the pick, where I can look at it and say, hey, we got better tight ends now in our room, and they can cause matchup problems in the middle of the field with TJ 6'5", and Jesse James was also a taller, bigger tight end as well. So that's what I saw. That's what I saw. So
I hope so. I'm seeing player comparisons to like Heath Miller and Witten, who obviously like really. I mean, I don't know if Heath Miller is in the same category as Witten, but like, let's just hope he's productive. That's all I'm.
Yeah.
Be productive. He's got a 2-year leash in my book, by the way. Like a top 8 pick, he's going to have to be like top 5 tight end. And that doesn't have to be production. It means like his blocking has to be legit.
Exactly. A number 8 pick, it'd be one thing who's picked with a 32nd pick in the first round. But at 8, he got to start balling right away, or else it's going to be the same old Lions narrative. He can't start off slow. He got to come out to the gate
catching the ball. I'm not looking for 1,000 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not the fastest. You better be like immediately one of the most elite blockers as far as tight ends in the league go, as far as I'm concerned. To be an 8th overall pick.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's move it on. Seany J, what you got on the next pick?
On Jelani Tave out of University of Hawaii. Now, this has got to be the most head-scratching pick. I said, who? Huh? Once again, this pick brought back memories back in 2007 when the Lions made overreach for another guy from the University of Hawaii. I don't know if you guys remember Akika Alama Francis. He was supposed to be a pass rushing end. Well, 5 seasons total, only 2 with the Lions and 3 with the Dolphins. He had only 1 career sack. And I think Francis was a huge reach. And this guy, Tave, is a reach because they see him been had as a 5th rounder, even as an undrafted free agent himself. But Quinn, he saw something he liked. I tried to do the research, try and justify, see why this pick was made the number 2, because I don't want another Akika Alama Francis type. And he's supposed to be a ball hawking defender. He has more size. He's a more than doesn't stop. I mean, he covers the field. He's a good run stuffer. He does have some athletic ability. And they say he can play the run better than our current middle linebacker, Jared Davis. So this is going to be a poor man's Devin White or Devin Bush, who can play the middle. He can move Davis outside, like they want to take advantage of Davis' athletic ability and ability to rush the passer. So once again, this guy is going to get to produce fast, or once again, we'll hit that same old Lions narrative, and the ghost of Akika Alama Francis will come. That's the first thing I thought in my mind. So, but once again, I hope this guy can ball just like same thing for Hawkinson and Quinn. I mean, these 2 guys really make him like a genius or an idiot. So we won't know until September.
All right, what you got, Will?
No comment. I'm gonna like wind down about this guy. Just like hearing his name being brought up.
Okay. Well,
they didn't even have a clip ready for ESPN, a highlight tape for this. I gotta stop. No comment.
Wow. But you're saving this to the end. Now, here's what I see. I think it was a reach. I'm not Bob Quinn. No, have I ever have been a GM or a personnel talent evaluator for the NFL or NFL team. However, um, I've lived in Hawaii and I know that they have good players on their teams. However, I think it was a reach. I think we could have got him probably in the fifth round or later. He fits the bill for what Patricia wants for his defense. If you look at the linebackers that currently they're on the roster for the other team that our personnel guys were familiar with, he fits that bill. He's a tall guy and he's big, 259, 6'2". He eats up space. He can set the edge as as an outside linebacker, defensive end. You can kind of shift him around it on the line, and that versatility is probably what Bob Quinn wants. I know that, and it's been said on many platforms that he doesn't give a damn what the fans think or how he drafts, but of course, if you're not getting results, the fans, you're gonna need to start caring, or you're gonna be out of a job. So I think it was a reach. I mean, I hope he does. I hope he does well. I see he fits that bill. He's a lot bigger than Jared Davis. Jared Davis is about 6'1", 240. So he's got on about 20 pounds. So those are the linebackers that those guys like, tall with rangy arms and can cover some ground. I don't think he's not as fast as a middle linebacker or inside linebacker, but we'll see how he works out. But it's a head scratcher. Yeah, we'll see how he works out.
And if I
Moving
can
on.
wait before I add real quick. You know, they said New England and Philly were looking at him, and Bob Quinn, I don't know if he took it out of spite to get back at Belichick, to get one up on Belichick. But like I said, this is something that got to produce right away, or else it'll be another pick. And to be honest, guys, did you think about Akika Alama Francis when this pick was made?
I just,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was that guy. I don't even remember his career at all. That's how
yeah,
long his
six,
cup his cup
wish
of
I
coffee
could
was short. Yeah, his cup of coffee was short with the Lions. So in the league in the overall. So yeah,
5
I hope.
seasons, 1 sack. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good stats. Yeah. All right, my man Will. What you got on the safety, Will Harris?
All right. Well, the Lions moved up initially from the 88th pick to the 81st. They moved their second round they removed their second sixth round pick, which was the 204th overall. They took defensive back Will Harris from Boston College. He's going to probably play strong safety in the pros, but is a depth guy. Athletic. He was a team leader. He's voted captain of his team. He's got tackling prowess, which Patricia really likes. Apparently, that's something that really turned them off about Greedy Williams, who was there in the second round when we took Jelani. Whatever. Doesn't really have any ball skills, but that's again, not really that big of a deal because he posted a pretty good 40 time. His RAS score is good. Good size, good speed, good explosiveness. Again, projects to be solid depth, so he'll probably play behind Quandre back there. Didn't hate this pick at all. Didn't hate it. Think
okay.
It's
yeah. I look at Will. He's a good size for his position. Good speed for his position. Definitely 6'1", 207. He can tackle. I mean, a guy he can hit. Watch some of his film. He would kind of some of the hits definitely would kind of remind me of how Quandre hits. So. Georgia boy from Sewanhani, Georgia. So I think he's gonna bring some thump. So I think he fits that hard hitting type of build that Patricia likes. So I like the pick. Definitely, he brings a level of toughness to that back of that secondary. So, Shawnee, what you got, my man?
Okay. From what I read, he's a pretty good player, like you guys said. This is where I was hoping the Lions definitely would have took my boy Bo Benchwater. So we were lucky to get his undrafted free agent because I thought we were pretty much set at the safe position with Diggs and Tracy Walker and Tavon Wilson. And we signed a safety from Tampa Bay, Adams, I do believe. I thought we were set, but Patricia Quinn couldn't resist. He's another big safety, 6'1", 207. So someone's in trouble. Someone's not going to make the team. He's more competition. Competition is good. Once again, the first 3 picks, 1, 2, 3, those are your premium picks. They got to do well. Once again, I hope he does well, but somebody's going to be out of a job. We'll see.
Right. I remember a couple episodes I told you guys I think Tavon's they'll think the writing's on the wall for Tavon Austin. He's been hurt a lot. He spent a lot of time on the injured reserve list or on the unable to play. So I think that writing's on the wall for Tavon Wilson. He might be a cap casualty because of how much he's getting paid. So you got to be younger and cheaper guys and more athletic prowess than he does. So I think Tavon may be a cap casualty or a late round camp cut, so he can try to pick up somewhere else. But I think that with this pick, that put the writing on the wall for Tavon Wilson. He's got to produce in camp, or he's going to be somewhere else this upcoming season. So the next pick we got is defensive end Austin Bryant. Now, this pick I liked.
Yeah, me too. Love it.
I like this pick just because of the fact that this guy was, if you look at, he was on that Clemson that Clemson defensive line.
Yes.
He's got size. He's fits that bill for what they want for a defensive end. He's 6'4", 271. He's tall, got long arms. He's got some stiffness issues, but I saw him make some wonderful plays. Looked at some of the tape that he had going on. He's definitely a player that I like in this position, the defensive end, because you look at the depth that we have. He adds to that depth for the defensive end group. And one thing that he's tough. The guy played the second half of the year with a torn pectoral muscle. I mean, it was off the bone. And the guy played in the national championship game with his pectoral muscle hanging off the daggone bone. He just sucked it up and kept playing. That's a tough guy right there.
Yes,
so I think he's going to leave another level of toughness and some athletic prowess to the defensive end group. I like the pick. He fits that mold. Tall, rangy, long arms. It doesn't. And the defensive ends in Patricia group, they're not really big pass rushers. They're edge setters and let those linebackers really rush the passer. So that's the type of player that he is, and I like the pick for the Lions at that position. So what you got, my man?
You're well.
You want me to go?
Go ahead.
I mean, if there's a drawback to him, I think it's now like the entire D line has to play with an injury, like to that extent, right? Rookies coming in, you got to step up, rub some dirt on it. Actually, I don't know if that's a drawback. That might be good for us.
Yeah,
you never know. I loved it. Yeah, I mean, he was the least talented out of the 4 at Clemson, but that's like those 3 other guys are like freaks in nature. So it's not like this guy was a slouch at all. I think he's gonna be good. I loved it.
Seany, what you got?
Yeah, I like I said, I love the pick too. We didn't get the pass rusher I wanted in the first round. And the first top 3 picks were, kind of head scratches you made. I wish them all well. But when I heard they got Bryant in the 4th round, I loved it. Awesome pass rusher. He was part of that awesome defensive line and from the national champion Clemson Tigers. I mean, the other 3 guys won the first round. I think he only won the 4th round because I don't know if there's injury concerns or like you said, he was seen as this quote unquote weak link of the line, but he's still a great player in his own right. He fits that, nice mold. I've seen him listed between 6'4" and 6'6", about 280 pounds. I think, we can say goodbye to Anza, Ziggy for, Anza's done. He's going to take Ziggy off the roster, I think. Hope he's healthy because I want to see this guy go. He'll be a good backup for both Trey Flowers and Romeo Okwara. I love the pick. It's a good value pick. I love it. I was so happy when they made this pick. Because he fits that. We need another defensive end and pass rusher since we can get Montez Sweat. I love the pick. Hope the guy's healthy and ready to go.
All right. Next pick we got up is the defensive back. Go ahead, give me what you got, Seany J, on the cornerback out of Penn State.
Yes. Amani. Boy, I can't say his last name, but I seen him play when I'm a big Big Ten fan, big Wolverine fan. He's pretty good. He has that size, a good size for a corner. He's 6'2", over 200 pounds. He has great speed. The Lions, once again, they're doubling down. They took a safety and not a cornerback. Once again, they had a few corners already on the roster. They signed a couple cornerbacks. They signed a guy from Seattle. They signed a guy from Oakland. And I love my guy. I'm a big Jamal Agnew fan. I definitely want to see him make the team. Agnew, he's a good punt returner, kick returner. And I wanted Agnew to get a shot. One of the starting spots, to be honest. This guy, once again, he was another good value pick where you got him at number 5, his size, the speed. I have no problem with this pick, but they better keep my boy Agnew. They better not let him go because Agnew get cut. He's like on the last 24 hours on the waiver wire. Somebody's going to stash him up because Agnew, I think, don't kill me, but I think Jamal is a poor man's Deion Sanders. Yeah, he can return kicks. He got great speed. Okay, Ray Crockett. You guys remember Ray Crockett?
I remember Ray Crockett.
Yeah. I love Ray Crockett. And I want to see Jamal get one of the starting spots, but I know we talk about Amani. He's a good guy, a good size, but still, I love Jamal Agnew. And I posted in the group, they better keep Agnew. So I don't wish somebody poor and bad. But, once again, they got plenty of cornerbacks in the group. But the guy who's really should be concerned is the former second one pick from Florida. Help me guys.
Tabor?
Yes. Tabor, yeah. Yeah, this is a clear message to him, just like the tight ends they got was a clear message to Michael Roberts. So, like I said, good value pick. A lot of guys, people love this pick at 5. And I want to hear what you guys have to say about it.
Wills, what you got?
I think he could be good based off of what everybody said about him. He's supposed to be a second-round pick. Apparently, he drops to the 5th. That's like unbelievable value. I'm concerned about the speed. That was like the same complaint we heard about Tabor coming out of Florida, right? He's great in everything except he's slow as fuck type of thing. Excuse my language.
Nah, he ran a 4.47.
Amani?
Yes.
He's definitely faster than Tabor. I'm just saying that's what the worry is.
That's what the worry is.
Maybe his tape it shows him being slower. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he's slower rotating those hips. Everything I read complaint wise, if there is one about this guy, is just speed. Even though the 40 is not bad.
Okay.
But I want him to be good. I thought it was great value based off of value, like big boards. That's what the draft comes down to. Is just like value, and I question what Quinn's board is, but I'm not the general manager. But I like this one based off of value, just like I liked Austin Bryant based off of value. Yeah, just needs. So for you, Amani.
Yeah, I like the pick. Like I said, he was built as a second round pick. Good size, 6'2", 205. If you look at what the Lions are building in their secondary, most of their guys are over 6 feet. The corners are. You got 2 exceptions. Quandre's not going anywhere. He's Nino's 5'9", but that dude's a missile. And Agnew, but I really think that Agnew is going to his niche is going to be that punt returner. I don't think he's going anywhere. The guy's his first year in the league, he was a Pro Bowler. Yes, he was injured a lot last year, but the guy was a Pro Bowler. I think he'll get back to that, once he can stay healthy. I don't really see him playing that nickel. I think Coleman's going to fit in that role. I think this guy's going to challenge for the outside role, opposite of Slay. He's a big Slay fan. He watches a lot of Slay tape, and we might get him out there when Slay goes to work out with the big name corners. When he works out with Talib, and Richard Sherman, he goes out to work out with those guys out in Texas once a year, so in the summer. So if he can get him to go out there with him and learn some of those ball skills and learn some of that footwork, that's definitely going to help him. So like he views, he's already talking about working with Slay, and that shows me where his mind is. He wants to get better right away. So I think it was a good pick. Like his combine, he was a 4.47 and a 40. He had 17 reps on the bench, 36 and a half inch vertical. So he got some tangibles there to work with. So we just gotta. The thing I heard about him was the same thing I heard about Greedy Williams, that it was hard to get him to stick his head in there for tackles in the run game. So that's what I heard of. That's the negative thing I heard about him. So, but let's keep it moving. The next pick we got is Travis. Yeah. What you got, Wills, on that guy?
I mean, any picks as you get to these later rounds are like projects, developmental.
Yeah.
This guy's no different. 6'3", 215 pounds out of Old Dominion. 4-year player. Senior season, he had 63 catches, over 1,000 yards and 9 TDs, which was the best in Conference USA. He could end up being somebody down the road who's on like the outside. He doesn't have like the greatest speed. He's got pretty good size, big hands, and he's just like a strong frame. So I'm seeing a couple guys who gave him a 3rd round grade is probably the highest. Was at the Athletic. But 3rd to 4th round grades for this guy, again, pretty solid value, but not really somebody you're expecting to contribute right away. That being said, like Stafford made nobody's last year productive. I forget who. Some of these receivers only played like 4 games for us a year.
Yeah, like Andy Jones and some other guys.
You never know if Stafford takes a liking to this kid, but someone to keep in mind as we go forward. I'm not expecting much, but hopefully he can make the team. Like you said, it's a good thing he got drafted.
Yeah. I think the same thing. I think he's maybe a good depth pick, big frame. He can high point the ball. He may be one of those guys that's down in the red zone where they can flood that zone with a lot of big, tall, big individuals with the two big tight ends. And if they go like one back set down in the goal line where they spread some guys out. You got big high point guys, him and Marvin and Kenny Galladay, and get those big body guys that can high point the ball. It's a pick your poison with those guys down there if he makes the team. What you got, Seany?
Once again, I don't know much about the guy. But like I did a little research, like I say, he was a big receiver at 6'3", 215. Very productive in college. Like I said, we signed a couple receivers this offseason. They're midgets in Amendola and Tommy Lee Lewis. I don't know, Quinn's still trying to upgrade the receiver position. Like you said, when you get this late in the draft in the 6th, you're hoping to find a gem or a diamond in the rough. He might be that diamond in the rough. I was reading today that he might challenge to make the roster. He might, if he's person enough, he might make Marvin Jones expendable. But I still love Marvin's Marvin.
Nah, I don't know about that one.
We'll see. Like I say, he's supposed to have good talent. That late in the draft, hoping to find a diamond in the rough or a steal.
Yeah.
Once again, I wish all our draft picks well. That's all I got on him.
All right. Now, this one guy, the next guy, I pick up on this guy, Todd Johnson out of Maryland. Now, my wife's from Baltimore, and I always watch, but that game in particular, I watch some Maryland football just to kind of keep the house happy. And this guy's lightning fast. This guy's quick. So at his pro day, he ran an unofficial 4.26 in the 40. So this kid can fly. Do I expect him to be? He may add some challenges in the running back room. I can see him returning kicks. So I think that they may be his niche may be on special teams to kind of spell. I don't like the idea of putting Agnew out for both kick returns and punt returns. So if he's a punt returner, leave Agnew at the punt returner, and this guy could be our kick returner. He can Definitely fly. Like I said, unofficial 4.26. They say he can run a 4.35 at his normal range. So I mean, like I said, he's a late round pick. I don't really expect him to be a starter or anything like that, but good special team pickup, I believe. So what you got, Shawnee?
Okay, again, I see him in the Big Ten. He was fairly productive, had a fairly productive career at Maryland. He was faster than I thought. I wanted a running back, at some point in the draft. I was hoping to get my boy from Michigan, Karan Hicken, who also went undrafted, but wound up signing with the Houston Texans. Good for him. This guy, once again, this ain't a draft, hoping to find a diamond in the rough or steal. He does have some talent. He has pretty good size, 5'10", 215, and he has good speed to go for that size. He's a 6th-round pick. Could he be, don't kill me guys, but could he be like another former 6th-round pick who's in the Hall of Fame, won a couple of Super Bowl rings with the Broncos? Terrell Davis, that'd be awesome.
That's a reach. But okay, I got you. Though. I feel you.
Think big. Drink Kool-Aid.
You drinking the Kool-Aid. The big chug.
Dude. No, I mean, I think he could potentially be a replacement for. I mean, maybe Agnew does like punts. Maybe this guy does kick returns or vice versa. It could be a spot for him. Zach was productive, but I don't think, we'll see if he could capture productivity this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, I'm trying to be positive about all these guys. We'll get to the end of this. I'm going to give the whole thing, but
yeah. We got you coming up in a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. So to close it out, you got Isaac Nada, and then you have PJ Johnson. Those guys are pretty much depth picks. I think that both of these guys are looking at probably practice squad type of signings at the end of the rookie camp. They may surprise you. They may do something big. I know PJ say he looks up to Snacks. That's one of his guys he tries to emulate in the league, which is not a bad role model to have. Who also went undrafted, but I think those two picks are kind of depth guys. So I just think that they're maybe they. I watched some living in North Carolina. I did watch some SEC games, and I did watch Nada down there at Georgia. Decent ball skills. Need some work in the run game. Maybe he's a depth guy, like I said, or maybe he's a practice squad player. I don't see big things coming from him. I think PJ could be a good developmental player if he gets under Snacks and learns the role. Decent size, 6'4", 334. So he's a decent size for a defensive tackle. So, yeah. So what you got on those two guys?
I'll take that first. I remember Isaac Nauta. He was the top tight end coming out of high school. Wolverines just missed out. I mean, he chose Georgia over Michigan and Alabama. He didn't quite have the career that people expected for him, but they said that wasn't all his fault because he went through coaching change, a couple offensive coordinator changes. He was productive, he possibly could have been. Like I said, unless he really lights it up, I agree with you. He's a practice squad candidate. But you know what? I expect more out of PJ. Like I say, he's a big boy at 6'4" and 334 pounds. He has a lot of talent. He only played 1 year for Arizona because he went to the junior college route. He was at Sacramento State before he started his career. He has 2 kids to take care of, already. He's hungry. He's big and he's hungry, literally and figuratively. He has a family to take care of. I think he can be one of those gems. Like once again, the undrafted free agent or a 7th-round pick. Those guys have chips on his shoulders. He got miles to feed. So I think he might be a surprise pick. It won't surprise when he makes the roster as a backup. He might push Ricky, what's his name, John Francois out the door. He may be the backup. Patricia loves rotating players. He may give Snacks and Hand and Ashawn a blow. He's a good depth player, another big body, space eater. So he's hungry. So one surprise he makes the final roster and makes a little noise this season. PJ Johnson.
Okay. Wills, what you got on those two guys?
I hope they work out. I like the snacks connection already on Twitter for PJ. No, not like nothing against Isaac whatsoever, but like I don't know why we're drafting two tight ends. Even if the big board dictates it, that's neither here nor there. I'll touch on that a little bit later. But hoping for the best. Obviously, again, later round picks, you don't know. So
yeah, it's just
don't forget, guys. He also signed two undrafted tight ends. So
no, he did. Yes, he did.
I mean, but if you look at that, like I said, those tight end groupings from last season, I guess they were like, well, we're gonna flood the tight end room until we find what we need.
I like Levine Toyolo. They should have brought him back, in my opinion. He played well at the end of the season.
He did.
Has a big size. I love Levine. I want him back, definitely. I even want him to be our starter because he was 6'8", 280 pounds. I don't get it. They should have brought him back.
Yeah, I like him
so, too. Let's closing it out as far as the draft. I'm gonna give my and I'll say this before I say what I have to say. You don't really know how to grade a draft until 2 or 3 years down the line, because it takes about that time for the players to really develop into their roles. So to give a draft grade is really premature at this point, but I'm going to give one anyway. I'm going to give you guys a give one. I'll give it a B. I think that, and the reason it may be a little, people might think it's a little high, or my thinking is that I kind of sat back and looked at some of the Patriots draft picks, because this is where these guys are matriculated from. They definitely came more from the New England background. They didn't have I don't remember them drafting a lot of big names out of school. Like, they drafted guys that were, those diamonds in the rough, and those guys know how to evaluate talent for this offense and defense, definitely for the defense. If you look at Bob Quinn, and this came out in the last couple of days, he knew how to evaluate talent for Matt Patricia's defense. He had a problem the first year in Detroit because he was trying to evaluate talent for Tavon Austin's defense, and it doesn't marry up. So he has the coach that he wants in the system that he's familiar with, and those are the players he's comfortable drafting. So with that being said, I think he got some of the players, maybe some of the bigger names, but they fit the bill for what they're trying to build in Detroit. So that's just my take on it. Sean, what you got for your draft? Great.
This was definitely a Patriots way type draft. Like I said, not a lot of big sexy names, but a lot of guys who are underdogs, who work hard. Jelani Tave is the example of that. I'll give the draft a B because I think you got good value picks, especially later on in the draft. I think guys that might surprise you with their hard work ethic. That's what Patricia and Quinn love to see. You don't necessarily have to be a household name or All-American, the Golden Boy, all the got a glamour in college. They want to see guys who don't mind getting their hands dirty and sticking their nose in there and working hard and playing the system. What Patricia wants. This is definitely a New England Patriots type draft, and it's not surprising because you got Quinn and Patricia who came from the Patriots. They did the Patriots way. Because you look at New England, a lot of their guys aren't, weren't big stars in college. They weren't former first round picks. A lot of their guys were mid round picks, like even Gronkowski. He was a second or third round pick, and Tom Brady, for crying out loud, was a 6th round pick. So this is definitely a Patriots way type draft, and hoping they have Patriots success with this draft. Sure.
Definitely. Before I get to you, my man Wills, because I want to let him do his thing, because I know he's been waiting and he's got it built up. One big name that I forgot to mention as far as an undrafted free agent was Trey Lamar, the linebacker out of Clemson. How did he not go? That's what I was saying about this draft. It was a lot of guys that you would have thought that would have been drafted, and they end up being undrafted free. It was just a weird draft for me. It was just a weird, like a lot of the guys that you would think that would have got drafted. It was just weird. I mean,
It was loaded.
And it was just like so when you have oversaturation, some guys are gonna get looked over, and Trey Lamar is one of those guys that definitely got looked over. This guy was a starting linebacker for the national championship team. He did not get drafted. I don't get it. This is the same way with the offensive lineman. Guy's a 2-time All-American. How do you not get drafted? I mean, I don't know. But so at this time, it is time for.
Here we go again. The same old line.
So, Wills, tell me about the same old Lions.
So I don't know if anybody's ever seen The Godfather Part 3, and there's a line where Michael Corleone says, like, just when I try to get out, they pull me back in type of thing. Like, I'm trying to move beyond overreacting from draft nights. And I thought that we had that because I was like mentally prepping for Hockenson. I'm not even that mad about that pick because I was mentally prepping for it for probably like 2 weeks.
Okay.
If he traded back, I would have loved it. Okay. And I got nothing against this guy. You're throwing a kid into a fucking Boilermaker right now. That city has the largest target on this kid's back for no reason other than, and Shawnee J, you touched on it, spite. And the problem is that thing is real and it's breathing. You see it with the Pistons. It's just like it's a real thing, and he cannot afford to screw up at all. And Bob Quinn, you know that this is the highest drafted offensive player we've taken since Calvin Johnson and Stafford. Those are the only two other names. Yep. What company? What expectations for this kid? Like, I just keep going over what we could have done because there were other tight ends, obviously, in the draft, like Noah Fant. And then you had, I'm biased because I graduated from there. I like Gentry. I think he's going to be a like sexy recruit. He went to Pittsburgh in the 5th round. Mm-hmm. I want to know Bob Quinn's board because even if, and again, I'm not even that mad about Hockenson, but you just heard me talk about it for a minute. Mm-hmm. That Jelani Tavai pick was the most unbelievable thing. I was at a bar in Detroit. I flew back from Orlando for the Easter week. I'm with my family, and there's an audible no fucking way from our waitress who has like 6 pitchers of Miller Lite. She's coming to the table. The waitress. Who is this guy? There was like a silence at the ESPN table. They didn't have a highlight tape ready to go because he was a 4th or 5th rounder. They didn't say anything. They just went to the guy who was picked previously before him. And then I watched this guy's tape and I look up his measurable. 4.86 40? Are you kidding me? What is going on? Yeah. And maybe he's going to be productive and other teams wanted him and he's coming up the big board and he's a guy you love, but you took him 43rd overall, Bob Quinn. The highest ranking I saw on big boards for this guy, and again, I don't like looking into rankings for high school kids or like scouting combines that much, but the highest one I saw was like 198. Oh, you took him 43rd overall. You're telling me you couldn't move back. Bob Quinn is either the smartest guy in the room or he's a fucking idiot. We're going to find out at the end of this year because he has one Pro Bowler that he's drafted. It's Jamal Agnew, who I love. He has one, and Agnew was voted in as a kick returner, or he earned it as a kick returner, not like as a cornerback. Yeah. Hey, Bob, you've been here long enough. It's time, bro. It's time to hit on these middle round picks. And like, we talked about, I like the value like in the given moment. But like, man, if you could do it over again, if you could have like Ed Oliver and then Greedy Williams and then maybe one of those like other tight ends that people are hype about. I know Hockenson is like way better of a prospect, but I think you could have addressed the needs that this team has in another way and people would have been, I know it's not your job to do what the fans want. I get that, but man, you better be right. You better be right because like no one thinks that you are. Oh man, it's
Yeah.
insane that I care this much about the draft again. It's insane. I will say those undrafted free agency signings were awesome. That Wisconsin dude, that was like a 6 to midnight move. I heard that. I was immediately aroused. Phenomenal. And then the San Diego State guy's getting like 150,000 guaranteed.
Mhm.
He's going to be great depth for Joe Dahl, but like Quinn, bro.
Now,
And here's another gripe I have with this guy. And I know I got nothing wrong with the players. I'm wishing them success. I'm worried though for Hawkinson. I really am.
Mhm.
Bob, you put him in this situation, Bob. You now have to have the balls to come out and talk to the media at the press days and stuff. Because you know what he did last year?
Mhm.
He fucking scurried away into his office. He locked the door and he didn't talk to anybody until like the end of the year. Not this time. Not this time. This is your team. Your fingerprints are all over this thing.
Yep.
If there's an issue, you better be front and center at that podium and you better be answering every goddamn question. Not like last season.
Yeah. I feel you on
Don't
that
make
one.
the players come up. Don't make the players come up and answer for your shit.
Yeah. I feel you on that one, brother. Because this is he got his coach that he wanted.
Right.
And they running their scheme that they want to run with their players that they want. So this is
This is you. This is
all you. Because
you came out, you said Stafford's your quarterback too. This
Yep.
is all you. All you.
Yep, it is all him. Definitely. I definitely agree with you on that. What is that? The NFL Network had a segment called "Stump the Truck," and basically they gave out names and they tried to stump the guys in the production truck to find highlights of individuals that they gave names of, and the guy from Hawaii, our second round pick.
He stumped him. Are you kidding?
He had to, because who knew who he was?
I swear, dude, I gotta find the clip. Literally, the whole Trey Wingo. They announce it, and then Trey says his name, and the whole table is silent.
Yes,
whole table.
I saw that because they announced it. I was watching ESPN. That's my go-to network for the NFL draft. It has been for years, and I was like, huh? And I'm sitting there. I immediately pick up my phone and I started Googling this guy to see who he was. And now, like I said, I lived in Hawaii before, and I know that some of those guys can get overlooked. Even some of the guys in the Pac-12, they play late. Some of those smaller schools out there, or some of the, you have guys from HBCUs that get overlooked. They go undrafted and they end up being Hall of Famers. Now, I'm not saying this guy's one of those guys, because people want to know who Jerry Rice was when he came out. People didn't know who Jerry Rice was coming out of college.
People know who Mean Joe Green was years ago.
Joe Green. They didn't know who Walter Payton was coming out of, because they played at small, historically black colleges and universities. So I understand that players are like that. But you look at this guy, he's not even had that same pedigree these guys had in college, because those guys were the best guys in their conferences or on their teams and at their positions. This guy's not one of those guys. I mean, he probably was their best linebacker, but University of Hawaii isn't known for having great players. They're usually small, undersized guys. They run. Now, he's pretty big for a University of Hawaii guy, because most of those guys play like the academy guys. They're smaller.
He's a house. He's running 4.86 40s.
Yeah, he's huge. He's a big dude. So, I mean, but I agree with you on the same old lines with this pick, man. This was definitely a same old Lions move. But Bob, like you said,
if he hides this season, man,
Bob. I mean, but this puts this season for Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia, they're on the hot seat. This is their hot seat moment. This is their hot seat moment, because, okay, we know when he came in, he kept Jim Caldwell for one season, and that stuff didn't work out. And then the next season, he got rid of all the coaching staff except for Jim Bob. So, yeah, he comes in, the coaching staff changed. You keep continuity with Jim Bob Cooter. That didn't work out, because I didn't see it working out, because just for the fact that because Matt Patricia does help on the offense as well. he started off as an offensive line coach for the Patriots till he moved over to defense. A lot of people don't, if you don't really know about his kind of background on the Patriots, but I know he helps with offense as well. So this is not the system that they want to run. So kind of really, their onus is on them guys. Those two guys this season, you have to show and improve. You have to make a playoff run. I'm not saying win a Super Bowl. I'm just saying get it back to the playoffs. You can't. You're not going to win a Super Bowl in. Really, unless it's already built for you in 2 years. You're not going to be a John Gruden where he went to Tampa and won because Tony Dungy had set the table for him. That's not the situation that we're in right now. You know what I'm saying? Jim Caldwell didn't have us in the Super Bowl, or one step away from it, and then here comes Matt Patricia, and he's going to take us to the Super Bowl all of a sudden. Not the situation, but the onus is on those guys. Will, you are 100% correct. It is on those guys to show and improve this season. So I definitely agree with you on this same old Lions move with Bob Quinn. So to close out the show,
2 points conversing.
Will, you go first.
I may just try to be positive. Steve Yzerman. Let's pivot to the Red Wings in the NHL draft, I guess. Now I'm bummed out with Quinn. Positive training camps. Everybody improves in the offseason. Kelly Stafford get healthy. Bob Quinn, make yourself available to the media so that the fans don't take it out on the players.
Oh, gotcha. What you got, Seany?
Bob Quinn, was sticking with Quinn for a minute. He made some nice balls moves on the undrafted free agent market when he signed my boy Schwazo, Big Bo when he signed Trey. Lamar is it from Clemson, an awesome linebacker from the national champions.
Yeah, that's him.
And that big guy from San Diego State, the offensive tackle, they gave $150,000, like you said. So he's almost guaranteed to make some ball moves in a free agent market. But like you guys alluded to or came out and said, and I said, Hawkinson and even more so the second round pick, Jelani Tavai, they're going to have to start producing right away. I mean, they're going to have to make believers out of doubters right away because those are two picks that the Lions could have chose someone differently. Okay, I can halfway understand why it's a Hawkinson. He was mocked by a lot of guys go to the Lions, and yes, it happened. But even more so in Hawkinson, Tavai is going to have to really play hard. He just can't be a special teamer. He can't be on the practice squad. He's got to be pushing for playing time. He's got to be in there making plays because that's the pick that the Lions fans are really pissed off, more even pissed off than they are about the TJ pick. But both guys want to be successful to avoid that same old Lions narrative.
Gotcha. All right. So my 2 points conversing. All right. So Bob definitely came out into the media. It's all over social media that he really doesn't care what people think about what moves he makes and how he does his job. But like I said, if he doesn't start producing, he's going to have to start caring. This because of the fact that we're not his boss. However, space, the fan base is going to stop caring, and you're going to lose the fan base if the things that you're doing it's not going to work. So yes, we'll still root for the team but definitely it'll be the sentiment in the city and all over Lions Nation that he needs to go. So, I hope, I hope those things work. I hope these moves work out for the team. I hope we start to see vast improvement. I hope that they build the Lions team that can win and make playoff runs and be at the top of the NFC North for years to come. That being said, congratulations again to all the players that got drafted, and congratulations to the individuals that were undrafted that got signed, because their dream is still alive. To sign as an undrafted free agent means your dream of playing professional football is still alive. And you guys got to remember that out there that it's their career. This is their dream. Everybody's not going to be good. Everybody's not going to make the league. There's a ton of first round bust. most of the teams that in the NFL are made up of guys from the fourth round and on. And most of the players that are in the NFL that are on the NFL rosters are made up of fourth round and below, fourth through seventh round. So you're going to have a lot of those guys that make up the rosters. And we've seen a lot of first round busts, especially in Detroit. You know, look how many times we drafted wide receivers or anything like that. They've turned out to be flat out busts. You know, Charles Rogers, you know, Roy Williams.
Mike
So don't
Williams.
get Mike Williams. I mean, Mike Williams as well. Don't get too high on those on the draft picks. Gonna get too low. But I'm just ready to enjoy the season. It's going to be a long summer, waiting for the training camp to start, and for the preseason to start here in the next couple of months. So, but again, hats off to those guys who did get picked up all over the league and got picked up by the Lions. So, social media, where can we find you, Shawnee J?
Once again, you can find me on Facebook, Sean Jennings, handsome guy. You know who I am.
All right. Wills, what you got?
Find me on Twitter, Lure Legion Commander. That'll probably change soon, but at Bobo the Bear, the 3 for the E in the.
All right. So on Twitter, you can find me at Curtis Steele 14. That's an E on the end of my name. So at CurtisSteele 14. The same goes on Instagram. For the podcast, it's at Die Hard Den Pod C1. If you want to email the show, it is dieharddenpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you all for listening. And as always, for my mans, Sean and Wills, we out.